Quadratic Functions by Jake, Selena, and Stephanie. This is a graph of a quadratic function, otherwise known as a parabola, and on this graph the orange parabola is the parent function while the pink and the black are the transformations. Domain and range. So the domain is the all possible values of x, and then the range is the all possible values of y. To find these, you figure out what number can be plugged in for x. So for the range, it's 0 to infinity because you can't go in the negatives for the y's, and it stops at 0, but it can be any real number after 0. And then for the domain, it can be negative x or positive x by looking at the graph. For your x-intercept, it's where the graph crosses the x-axis, and then the y-intercept is where the graph crosses the y-axis. So for our parent function, the x-intercept and the y-intercept are both 0, 0. Increasing and decreasing intervals. To find decreasing, you figure out where it stops decreasing. So it stops decreasing at 0, and then it starts at infinity because it can be any number after 0, and then it starts increasing at 0, and then it stops at infinity because it can be any real number. For transformations, example 1, y equals 3x minus 1 squared. So the 3 outside parentheses explains that it has a vertical stretch of 3, so the graph increases vertically by 3. And then the negative 1 in parentheses explains that it moves right 1, because it's the opposite of what you would think. And then y equals negative x squared plus 3. The negative x shows that the parabola opens down, and then the positive 3 shows that it moves up 3 units. Quadratic functions in real life. Sports, when throwing a football, it has the parabola shape, and then pitching a baseball has the parabola shape. And then on a test, you might find a question like, if a toy rocket is launched vertically upward with an initial velocity of 128 feet per second, then its height, labeled by h after t seconds, is given by the equation ht equals negative 16t squared plus 128t. And then the questions would ask, how long will it take the rocket to hit its maximum height, and after how many seconds will the rocket be 112 feet above the ground? So to find these, you would plug that equation that they gave you into your calculator and graph it on the graph, which would give you the parabola shape, and then find your zeros and your min or your max. For real-world shapes, the McDonald's arch has the parabola, the Gateway arch, dolphins when they come out of the water, and roller coasters. So for practice problem 1, you'd be asked to write an equation by looking at the graph. So first you would put y equals, and then to find if it's a negative x or a positive x, you see if it opens up or down, and if it opens up, then it's a positive x, and if it opens down, then it's a negative. So here it's a positive, and then to find the number after it, you see if it moves to the left or the right. And so from the 0, 0 point of the vertex on our parent function, this vertex on this transformation moves to the left 3, so it'd be a positive 3. And then you see if it moves up or down for your last number. And here it moves down 2, so you put that at the end. And then for practice problem 2, our parent function is y equals x squared, and then our transformation is y equals 1/5 x minus 1 squared plus 4. So you have to explain how it transformed here. So first you look at the 1/5, and the 1/5 is greater than 0 but less than 1, which means there's a vertical compression or a shrink. And then the positive x is going to show you that the parabola will open up. And then by looking at the negative 1, you see that it moves to the right 1 on the graph. Then the positive 4 at the end means that it moves up 4 units.